Hi, and welcome to the Alda-Chur Campaign, a RuneQuest actual play. I'm Ninevin, and I will be your host and GM. And we have two players. Thea, go ahead and say hi.
Hi, I'm Kathia.
And Soinarios, go for it.
Soinarios.
All right, so this is our first episode of an RuneQuest actual play. We're playing in Alda-Chur just after the lunar invasion of Sartor. So if you know what those words mean, that's good. If you don't, we will bring you up to speed over the course of the campaign. So we'll go ahead and introduce our characters a little bit. So Inarios, if you want to talk a little bit about your character here.
Soinarios is she just became an adult, kind of your cousin Kathia, and she is a mainly worshiper of Ernalda and Marangor, two various earth goddesses of different focus. And so she's not sure if she wants to be the adventurer and defender of the clan, or if she actually wants to take on the mantle of going for being a priestess and being more in running the clan. So you have the whole thing in maternal expectations compared to the joys of youth and wanting to go out and do things in the way you think things should be done.
Sounds good. And Kathia, if you'll do the same.
Yes. Thea is the fourth child, second daughter of Callista, and she has chosen a different path, and she has joined the cult of Yalorna, a goddess of a star and night, and a warrior goddess. And Thea's picked to follow that route, so she has definitely veered off the normal expected path, but with the full support of her mother and her family. She has an older brother, Kalor, who will come up some that she's very close to because he has managed to get himself somewhat ostracized from the family. And she will do what she can to spend time with him and his two young twin children.
All right, sounds good. And that is our entire party, so kind of a small one, but it gives us a lot of focus too. So from here, we'll talk a little bit about ourselves, obviously in kind of general terms here. I'm Ninevin. I'm going to be running the game. I've been playing RuneQuest since, 2004, probably. This is one of my first campaigns. It might be my first, actually, RuneQuest campaign. So we will get through it. But I've played a number of Pavis and Balazar-oriented games. Kathia, if you want to pick up your background a little bit.
Yes, I've been playing RuneQuest since about the RuneQuest 2 era into RuneQuest 3 era. Mostly run it. So been heavily involved with it up through even the Hero Quest and version of Glorantha. Particular character I'm running here is one that I've tried to build several times in several different editions of RuneQuest and play, and they've never quite worked out in those games. So I'm looking forward to running her and seeing how she plays out in this game.
Okay, and Soinarios.
And I started playing RuneQuest a little before Ninevin. Kathia introduced me to that. Of course, my first one was your standard Orlanth adventurous Windlord, is what he became. So now we're with an Ernaldan woman, who's kind of exploring that aspect of it and kind of getting into it. But I mean, I've only played. I don't think I've ever ran RuneQuest that I remember. But the joys of Glorantha, whether it's Third or Hero Quest or Kingdom of Dragon Pass or the yet to be played box Con of Cons card game on my my kitchen table, it's been one of the more fun and nuanced and deep settings to be able to get into, as well as what you can play with. So
cool. And I think you did actually run the Balazar campaign for Kathia
Yes.
and I.
Oh, I did, for the two of you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yep.
Nick, you had shot at the cave bear.
Yes.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, that did happen.
And called it ahead of time.
Yeah, good times. So we've been, as a group, been playing RuneQuest together for off and on for about 2 decades. and we're using our character names and internet handles just for privacy's sake. Just to address that elephant in the room right away. Okay, so that would pretty well cover those aspects. We'll talk a little bit about the history of this game. So we started playing this campaign by email, and that was kind of a throwback to a time when we had been playing through the Balazar section of our Big Pavis game through email because we lived apart, far away from each other. And I thought it would be fun to go back to that. It was not that fun to go back to that, so we kind of hung it up after a couple of adventures, but we've been able to come back to it in a like an audio format, which is I think a good thing. And then it had been mentioned kind of like as long as we're on Discord or you know a chat, we might as well just record it and turn it into a podcast. So that is what we decided to do. Hopefully people will listen, but if they don't, it'll be nice to have recordings just for ourselves. So in the spirit of that, let's go ahead and talk a little bit about the setting. Alda-Chur is a portion of Sarder that's kind of up in the north. It used to be part of Tarsh, which is another Orlanthic kingdom that was conquered by the Lunars. We're doing a fairly your Glantha will vary version of it, where I've defined some tribes and things for us to interact with. So the Tuftaros, I believe, are a canon tribe, but our take on them is probably fairly outside the canon. So if you guys want to maybe add to that if you have anything.
Well, we're the earned voting clan.
Yes.
Right?
Yes, we are the earned voting.
And we are a Ernalda clan. So we are a matrilineal clan, I guess matriarchal. We have a Yolorna, it's considered a temple. We'll call it a temple. It might be.
It would be a temple.
And, on our lands, and it's the one for Dragon Pass, or at least the northern part of Dragon Pass. So a fair number of people go to that.
Pretty much
that's
all
how
Dragon Pass,
yeah. And that's how Kathia got tied into that growing up next to it. And our earliest adventure as a group here was the classic cattle raid to the Mandarian, who are another tribal clan, but we don't like them very much, and they don't like us very much. And they've managed to get themselves crosswise with the entire Ahmad tribe to the east of us. And we took advantage of that to try to show that we were big, powerful adults, and went on a cattle raid that was fairly successful, and came home winning ourselves some a little bit of loot, a little bit of glory, and a little bit of recognition. If anybody else has anything to add to that?
Because we got 8 cows, as well as we took our first ransom from a cow herder.
That is true. You did capture someone in that raid as well. Not just cattle, but also a man.
Truly the glory days when we are able to ransom back a cow herder. We were in our teens.
Well, you got to start somewhere. I'm sure we will grow over time here, as things sort of improve, and we get to play through some more adventures. So after that, we had a little bit of time to kind of interact with your clan and its leadership and your parents to a degree and relatives, and then we moved on to an adventure where you were recruited by elves to be mercenaries, and your clan does have that in their lore, like you were elf friends in the Green Age, so that was the reason you were picked out. And the two of you chose to head that up. I think Kathia actually was the leader.
She is the war leader, yes. Well, officially she is. Out of the small group of us that went. And yes, there was an elf that hired us to go and protect them as they went through a ritual. And I'm trying to remember who we took with us on that particular adventure.
Okay, so you took a Lindor Blue, who's a Vingan and Hellering. You took Mardina Greenbeard, a Lanker My Initiate, who has a bunch of ivy for a beard. And you took another Yomelian from Tarsh, or not Yomelian, but Yolornan from Tarsh, who had come to visit the temple.
Yes. And we went with
But I remember there being a little tension there because she was the cool girl from the transfer from their high school, basically. And Norris was like, "Are you sure?"
yes, she was a fellow cult member and gave us good power. We went with is it Pensionar
Pennicure.
and Pennicure and 3 elven warriors.
Indeed. So, and you were recruited alongside other mercenary bands, including a Melanti Blue Eyes, who was Yamelian from Gold Edge, Mariah the Dancer, who is a Marangor God Talker and her Babister Gore initiates, who would be from the Earthshaker Temple, and Harver Lightfist, a light son of Yamelio from the city of Alda-Chur. And he had some Sundomers with him as well. So once you went there, yeah, you had to defend. They were trying to plant a tree, a magic tree, and you had to defend it from whatever enemies are summoned by the ceremony. So you ended up fighting some Tusk Riders who are like sort of troll-ish men who ride giant boars.
Being a very tough fight, though we were pretty successful in the greater scheme.
Yeah, you definitely won. I'm not sure anybody got away, actually. So,
you tried to ensure it.
Quite a bit of bloodshed. For the record, while Kathia is the more martial of the two and is in a more martial cult, Soinarios is a fairly good heavy infantry woman. So she's not playing around.
She's heavier. She's actually heavier armed and armored. At least she was.
Just a little bit of plate.
Yeah. So, and yep. So that's kind of how that shook out. They rewarded you with some loot from the battle, so you got to keep some of the giant tusks and some of the weaponry and armor that you captured from the Tusk Riders, as well as a fair amount of money and some elven goods. So you each got a small coin purse made out of a living leaf that will stay alive as long as you keep it with you. You each got a little bead that marks you as an elf friend. If you're wearing it, that will also stay alive as long as you keep it with you. And I believe Kathia got a larger like coin pouch or bag, basically, that was also made of a leaf.
Stay alive.
Yeah, still alive. All of it stays alive as long as you keep it. It's minor elven magics.
She has taken her elf friend token and woven it into her hair.
Nice.
That's part of her standard. That way it'll always be present. And we had passed back through Glass Wall, and as we headed towards Alda-Chur, we were discussing exactly how we were splitting stuff up. I don't know if you're ready to talk about that, but we probably need to. We
definitely can, and we'll probably kind of slide through recounting into actually playing here, just to get some of this stuff out of the way and get into the campaign again. So in Glasswall, you had met with the tribal king there, and one of his lunar advisors had given you a set of plates to return to your clan. And they were like 5 plates that depicted the phases of the moon, so black and red pottery.
We were gifted with a gift that we may or may not want.
yeah. But it's been given, and you didn't have anything necessarily to trade back, so you got kind of stuck with it. And now you're on your way to Alda-Chur. The other mercenaries have split up away from you, so you're now just in your own group, and your Yalornan friend left basically shortly after you got back, before you got to Glasswall, so that she could return to her city in Tarsh.
So now it's just us 4 clan members?
Yes. Yes, it is.
And also at some point, I might need to reconnect with Havar Lightfist. Apparently we were getting along okay.
Yeah, he did mention wanting to come visit you at some point.
It's important. I understand you want a unicorn and elf bow.
I have very simple interests in life, but non-standard.
Fair enough. Okay, so it is sea season, middle of sea season in 1605, just a few years after Boldholm was conquered. and you are on the way back to Alda-Chur, the greatest city in your tribal confederation, and the second largest city in all of Sarder.
By far the biggest place we've ever been.
Yeah, certainly. The largest city that you have ever seen. It has like 10,000-ish people, I want to say.
It's big.
It's big, yeah. It's a big place, and it. Oh, sorry, 9. No, nope. I can do this. Maybe I can do this. Yeah, 9,000-ish people would be the whole tribe. So it has about. Well, yeah, I was way wrong. I apologize, and we'll be editing some of this. The population is roughly 3,500 people. So the tribe that's seated around it is roughly 9,000 people. So, yeah, it's still the second
is
biggest.
It its own?
Good.
Is it its own tribe?
No,
Like
it's
Alda-Chur, or is
surrounded
it part of
by.
our tribe?
It's surrounded by the Vontaros lands, but the city of Alda-Chur would be your confederation seat. So portions of it would be held by each of the tribes. It's your meeting place.
Right.
Essentially. It's also it's one of 2 cities in the far place that has glass walls. So its walls are made of glass block. Whereas glass wall is a single ring of glass.
Neat.
And Alda-Chur's wall is substantially larger than glass walls and white. So it starts out clear and then you can't really see through it because it's, thick. So we'll open late morning with the 4 of you just arriving back into Alda-Chur. So you're at the gates, basically. It sits on the shore of a river, and you are preparing to go there. So once we get there, where do you want to go, or what do you want to do?
Well, Cathea's got two basic goals. One is to see if maybe she can sell off those weapons we picked up from the Tusk Riders. Might get a better value from them there.
Okay. Yeah, we can certainly do that.
And the other is to actually take a look around a bit, go see what there is to see, and ask what there is to ask in town. Making connections. There's a lunar garrison here, isn't there?
Yes, there is. There is a lunar garrison. They're currently constructing a more permanent structure in the northeast section of town. So they're kind of adding it to the city. It incorporates some of the city's existing walls, and then some additional battlements are being put up to kind of surround their new section.
I assume the Princess Fort is the old fort that's been there.
Yes.
What is the number 14 on there? It looks like a race. Looks like a circus.
Yeah, I think it is probably something like that. So,
What are the ruins?
How so now?
Do you know? The ruins?
Oh, the ruins? Yeah, it's a part of
ruins.
the city that was smushed up during the lunar conquest. So,
okay.
You could poke around there maybe at some point. If you really wanted to. It's probably not infested by angry ghosts and lunar demons. I'm sure it's fine.
Probably should go to the temple first.
The temple court there.
Yeah. Well, temple court or the Sundome Temple, because we're associated. I am to the Sundome, even though it's kind of is, kind of isn't.
Right. Yeah, you could certainly go there. The temple court also has most of your like Ernalda, like Hermai, all the Orlanth, obviously, as well as some smaller temples that would be for more specialized gods like Humok that can't necessarily get clan or tribal support large enough to sustain a temple. So there would be a ring of those around that court. The marketplace is like literally the first place you come into, though.
Oh, let's go there first.
Cool. So as you pass through the walls, go ahead.
Yeah, try to sell off the stuff, and then that way we can give a proper tithe and all that good stuff.
Right, makes sense. So as you pass through the gate, you would be stopped by like a pair of lunar sentries who are just ask who you are, what you're doing. There's no tax to get into the city or anything like that. They're just kind of keeping an eye on things.
I would say who we are. I don't think we have anything to hide, and it's our confederacy and tribal lands, and so we announce who we are, that we're coming to town to rest, recuperate, and maybe trade some.
Yeah, that gets you through the gates. It's not too much of a burden there. So you pass through, and as soon as you come through the gatehouse there, through the walls, you enter the marketplace, which is a large open area with a bunch of stalls around it, and then some stalls, some like small like carts and stuff set up in the open area in the middle for people to sell and hawk goods.
Look for somebody who looks like they would deal in arms, because I think that's what we want to do is get rid of. Between us, we have 4 daggers and 4 swords.
Okay.
I don't think any of us want to keep these as part of our loot. And if you want one of us to go do that, we can.
Yep, that makes
Or
sense.
if we do it,
Who
just
wants
do
to
it.
handle the negotiations for the party?
I guess it should be one of us.
Yeah,
Unless
I
an
would
NPC
say
would do
so.
that.
Yes, it's boring if I
that
just role play
probably
them
that
with myself.
yeah. That feels like that probably falls on me in this, unless you want to do it, Solenarius.
I will trust
Oh.
you to go forth and do what you do
Yeah.
best.
It's cool. Your bargain
I don't know if
skills
the way
are both fairly equivalent.
Not very. Yes.
I don't want to compare numbers in the discussion, so we'll just go for it. It just feels like, well, I was the one in charge of this, so being in charge means that I should go off and negotiate the best I can for
Absolutely. So there is
4 swords and 4 daggers.
There is a smith in the city, and so there would be a stall here for someone selling bronze goods, which are what your swords and daggers would be as well.
Right.
So you can definitely try to get rid of them by selling to him, since he would be making some of the stuff, or by selling just to someone who needs bronze. Really, would be your options.
Okay. There's not, I guess, a weapon dealer as such probably doesn't exist. It'd go through the smith.
Yeah, like I mean, you have a smithy for like red smithing in the city. There are multiple smiths who work there, alongside some like apprentices and things. So it would be a shop, not like a lone person. But yeah, they make the city's goods. Anything that's not imported would be something that they make.
I'll take them there and ask what we can do. Say we've got 4 swords, so we've cleaned up as much as we can. And
Right,
4
yeah.
daggers.
Like they're like only a little bit, chip and dent.
I don't know if they belong to the Tusk Riders. I don't know if they ever did too much drawing of blood.
Probably not in that fight. No.
At least to us.
I feel like the
So-
boars did most of the damage. So you'll roll up to the stall that's associated with the smithy. Obviously, you don't go to
Yes.
the smithy itself to buy things because it's loud and hot and smoky and all that.
Right.
Let's handle that. So you go to the stall. It has a lot of bronze goods laid out. You're looking at mostly tools, but there are a few like axe heads and spearheads and things like that, as well as a couple pieces of armor. Helmets would be the things on display.
Here's a good question for you.
Sure.
Are there some tools here that we might be able to trade at a little better value rather than me selling for cash that would be worth taking back to our clan?
That's a good idea.
As well as bronze goods like whatever we use for the horses,
Right.
Any of that kind of day-to-day metal item that wears because of use in the heavy farming we do.
Yeah, I might be able to would be the actual plow blades. Right, most of your plows will be made of wood, but the blades would be bronze. And I mean, hoes, shovels, adzes, axe heads for cutting wood, which is kind of a constant process. Those things would all be pretty valuable. Saw, I don't know about saws.
I'll see if I can negotiate. If I could walk away with good cash, that'd be the best thing for me personally to have cash. But it seems like I might be able to negotiate a lot better for a trade where I walk back with more value of stuff we can give back to the clan.
Okay, makes sense. So you want to negotiate here, like basically a trade, like in kind.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So you'll
unless I roll really well and they offer me lots of gold for it or something.
Right, that'd be amazing.
I'm sorry, silver.
So you're gonna meet with a Isari's cultist, one of the part of the smithing shop, but someone who obviously handles like sales and procurement more so than actually doing the smithing. So someone who handles the importing of bronze and also handles the sale of finished goods. It's an older man. He's missing a hand, so he may have been a smith at one point and just had an accident that ended his career. Oops. Yep. So, but he's definitely there in front of you, and he looks interested when you approach him. Gives you the polite friendliness that we have all seen from salesmen, and asks you what you're looking to buy.
Actually, tell him what I have brought in, and let him know that I've got 4 good quality swords and 4 good quality daggers, and I am looking to either take a good cash sell just to remove them and put some cash in my pocket, or do, basically say I'm heading back to our clan lands if you want to do a trade for, and, mention the plowshares and metal, ends and tools and such. I'd be willing to do a trade for that, or some combination, something more useful for our clan when we get back than weapons.
Right. So he considers that for a moment, and he'll make you an initial offer, which you'll also kind of get to haggle with, where he suggests some items. And at this point, we'll just kind of roll off here to see how we do.
Yes.
So
I would prefer not to haggle in detail. I don't need
we can abstract a little bit.
Take that. I rolled an 09 and I actually succeeded at my bargain.
Wow. That's impressive. You actually that's put your
I'm
check,
excited by
put your
that.
check next to your bargain.
How do I do that?
So
hang on.
You got it?
I was typing on the wrong keyboard.
Well, that will make things difficult.
Just ignore me.
It's fine.
Just go on.
It's fine. So so you engage in sort of a spirited back and forth with the guy, and he seems to enjoy the story of how you got the stuff as much as he really values the items themselves. So he does arrange a trade for you that's reasonably favorable.
That's good.
So you can get some some snips, shears for wool for sheep, as well as some stuff that you can transport. So a lot of the axe heads and stuff like that. You can get a fair sized bag of that stuff. So he kind of puts his finger on the side of his nose and tells you to just keep up the good work, right?
Yeah. No, it's great. We'll be back to trade more. Get some more. Be through here probably sometime in the next year. I'll ask him, since he seems to like the story and like us, to give us news, whatever's happened interesting lately.
Oh, the city's really been fairly quiet. Harvard is back, though you would know that, of course.
Who's
because you were apparently traveling with him.
Oh,
Harvard
Lightfist.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he would be associated with the Sundom Temple in Alda-Chur. So, and
is that the one you were interested in there, Stone Thursday?
Maybe. I don't know. I just met him. He's a rune lord.
Oh.
My mom's worried I won't ever settle down. People like you.
I know, I'm a bad influence.
Bad influence. Yeah. Other than that, no, it's been fairly quiet. The river's up. The meltwaters are really testing the banks, but everything seems fine. Construction in the fort seems to be going well. There hasn't been too much unrest. Things, don't seem so bad.
Okay. Just thought since things went well, we should try to see if we can get a little more out of it.
Right. Since I got a little, can I have a lot?
No, just information.
I know. No, you're good.
How's the weather been?
Yeah. Nice. It's the same weather you've got. So, kind of rainy, but relatively warm.
I'm sorry. That was a joke.
Yep. So that's how it's been going. All right. So while this is taking place, and this takes you a while, you have to find the right stall and then talk to the guy for a while, and then actually get into the storytelling and the negotiations and then the wrap up. So Inarius, what are you doing?
You're just kind of helping hold the swords.
Yeah, just hanging around.
I thought you were all.
I thought I might head up and Would it be an issue? I assume it's not an issue if I tithe a different Ronaldo temple than typical, as long as I do it. Or is that bad? I want to make a faux pas, especially when I have family in the priesthood.
Yeah, it's a good question. So your character's instinct would be that while she can worship Ernalda anywhere, her home temple is her temple. And so as much as possible, she would want to tithe there. And since you're
Okay.
not caught up in a religious ceremony at this temple, you don't need to stop by there to tithe. So they're not like, this is a larger temple than your home temple, but they're not in a hierarchy. Like, they're all independent.
I'm gonna keep the money in the clan.
Oh,
But
I
you
might still. I think I might still wander towards the temple court Sundome area if I happen to see a particular light sun. So
Right.
not trying to like follow him and stalk him. So
Okay, so
if
you
I happen
hang
to
out.
see him,
There's a thoroughfare
If I
there.
happen to see it.
You kind of wander a loop, do a circuit, and you do not see him. You would imagine that
okay.
having returned to the temple, he would be undergoing various, like, telling about his exploits, going through whatever ceremonies Sun Domers do after coming back in from the outside world. Not being a member of that cult, they're a little less. They're more standoffish than the other cults in that nature. They're a little more. Their secrets are their own. If you remember, then hey, cool. All right. So you promenade for a bit with some of your friends. So then I imagine you would meet back up at the marketplace. Cool. Okay. So the immediate question is: do you want to stay here for like a whole day and then move on, or do you want to go ahead and head out like immediately?
What are your thoughts? I don't know that I have anything specific to do here outside of market stuff.
In the same boat and pathing of hitting the road home.
So we will sell some goods. I say, plus, I think you probably had the stronger tie to stay here, but we should head home. There's plenty of time to pursue that later.
And there may be somebody better out there. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm sure there's someone more eligible than a Rune Lord of Yamelio.
Rune Lord
trying to
part, maybe
move
not.
So after a little bit of time spent doing what you do, you give Alda-Chur a wave goodbye and move on. So you're gonna follow. Basically, Alda-Chur sits on the Alder River, and you're going to follow that river, basically to its source, which will get you back into your tribal lands. So at some point you'll have to camp along the river, but that's fine. You were gonna have to camp pretty much regardless of what you did. You're gonna spend the night somewhere.
This is on the Bantaros.
Yeah, you're right now in Vantaros
Land.
lands as you leave the city. You'll just follow it into the Tovtaros lands, which are your tribes, and the Zerdavos lands in particular, the clan that hold it, the headwater.
I was just curious how many days. Is it just a couple days back from us, from here to our land?
Yeah, like so the map that we're using in common is a hex map, and every hex is about 5 miles. So
it will 25 miles.
Yeah, you'll be able to get into Zerdavos lands, take a break, camp, and then or you'll probably still be in Vantaros lands, honestly, when you stop, because it's already part of the day has gone by.
Yeah.
And then the next day you'll be able to stretch back to your home.
Okay.
Cool.
Sounds good.
All right, so you do that. You take your followers with you, and away you go.
Yep.
Cool.
Definitely don't want to leave them behind because they are part of our clan.
Like relatives and stuff. Like, yeah, I wouldn't like you anyways.
Bad for.
So you get halfway home, and you're like, "Where's Mardina? What happened to her?"
Well, I'm guessing we do have to keep track of Mardina because she probably gets distracted easily. But I like her.
She's a focused young lady, and she likes elves.
And she likes other. Yeah, I think she's probably She begged to go with us pretty much.
Yes.
And I gave in because
she was very excited. And she was sort of useful. She wasn't useless.
She did.
It's always good to have knowledge.
Hurt herself, I think, in that fight.
A little.
And Elendor Blue did good.
Yes, they did. And everybody did better than Yenor did during the cattle raid. So that's good. Yenor is your local Urmali. and he was useless.
Yeah.
You took him with you because you were afraid of what he'd do if you didn't. So like,
Yeah.
it all works out. All
That
right.
was
So
that was a
after
one-time only.
right, right. That's
Hey,
how you
he
get
did
them all.
take an arrow to the loot.
That part's true. So you spend the
He is your
day.
typical your Molly.
He's doing his best in a hard, hard world. So you spend the day following the Alda River back towards your home. Eventually, it'll get dark and you'll camp just kind of where you are next to the river. You have rations and things, so it's nothing to worry about. And then the next day, you'll pass back into tribal lands. Once again, there's Zerdavos do like pick you up at a certain point. Like you get met by a rider who just asks who you are, and once they know who you are, they're fine with what you're doing. They don't offer to escort you, but it's sort of implied that they will if you want them to.
Oh, just exchange knowledge or exchange information, I think.
Right. A lot of the same. Things aren't terribly busy. You do know some. You've been gone for a while. Like the Mandarin.
It's been several weeks.
Yeah, the Mandarin who you're currently feuding with have been having a hard time with things. The Amada are a war tribe. They don't. So all they do is hunt and raid to survive and herd. So they aren't as tied to the seasons and the need for like the cycle of planting and harvesting. So in sea season, that's obviously when you plant everything. And so the Mandarin are having a hard time getting their field sown because they keep getting harassed and raided, which has caused them some problems. The Zerdavos aren't really participating in this feud. They're kind of just standing aside. And it is odd. Like your clan is going to war with the clan inside of its own tribe. This is not a normal thing, but it's also been approved by your tribal queen. She's not going to make you stand down, which kind of just goes to show how far the Mandarin have sort of screwed things up.
I have an idea.
Okay, what's your idea?
I think when we get back, since they're having a hard time getting their own lands planted, we should offer to take some of their land and plant it ourselves.
That's kind of the plan, I think. Like part of why you're involved in this.
I know, but I was going to do it all well, I probably won't because it'll be somebody more important than me. We'll do it all official and like, hey, we will help you. And I'm kind of hoping, I believe my brother is up against their land, so he would be a good person to improve his standing.
A good thought, and one to hold on to as you pass through the Zerdavos and then into the Blue Hill. The Blue Hill clan are your largest population, and they live on the slopes descending away from the lip of Snakepipe Hollow here. So they live in forested ground. Now, Snakepipe Hollow is sunk down, but there's a ridge around it, and then you just kind of slope downhill from there. And that's kind of where they sit. And then once you pass through them, you're now back onto your own lands where you are pretty intensive farmers. You have a lot of wheat. You have a lot of sheep. You don't have a lot of good grazing ground for cattle, so your cattle herds are smaller than would maybe be usual for a clan of your size. You can really just feel it once you cross into clan lands. Like as soon as you step through those boundaries, like you start to recognize things. You feel like you're on familiar ground. You're in the land that you've really spent your whole life kind of in, and you're familiar with it. And by evening, you'll pass to Fieldstone, which is your clan's village or town.
We should go. Well, it's probably late by the time we get back.
It's fairly late, yeah. It's definitely like the sun is mostly down. It's getting dim outside.
So we should just get everybody to where they can. I mean, we need to at some point get together and we have not done an appropriate thing until we get to brag about what we've done. I mean, not brag. Explain how much glory we've brought to the clan and present them the gifts we've brought back to them through our hard work.
Boasting is allowed.
Yes, boasting. That's the word.
Yeah, so you'll roll in fairly late, and the best thing for you to do would just probably be to stay at the clan's hall that's maintained. So this would be like analogous to your inn. It's a common area that a family has been given charge of to maintain. That way they can take on guests and travelers on behalf of the clan, as well as provide a space for the clan to meet, like during like clan moots or assemblies of the clan ring. Cool. So
Nope,
Fieldstone.
sounds good. We can crow crash there.
Yep. So Fieldstone itself is a small town or a large village, depending on how you look at it. There's a hill, like a mound that sits in the middle of it, and then it's surrounded by a square wall made out of dry masonry field stones. So just stones that have been turned up via the process of constantly plowing the earth. And then its structure is that there are some common buildings on the like at the foot of the mound, then due in from the gate. So as soon as you pass through the gate, you can see the Arnalda Temple at the foot of this mound. And then if you circle the mound, like on a little walkway that, like a path that's on it, like an earthwork ramp. If you go around once, then you have a air temple higher up. It's like on the spiral of this, and then at the top of it, there is a chalk, like a chalk stone circle that contains the Yalornan temple, which Kathia has worked there before, like helping rechalk the line because it wears away and has to be added to.
Sounds good.
So, but yeah, the hall is through the gates and then kind of off to the side of it. There's a big structure there for that, and then there's a few small buildings like a tanner's and a lone smith who do some smithing work, but more along the lines of recasting repair. And then you
Sounds good. I think we go in, stagger in, and get hopefully a hot meal if there's anything left, or a cold meal. And,
yeah, I mean, there's always like
night's sleep.
stew in a cauldron, right? So it's not.
That's the stereotype. I wasn't sure if we got that or not.
Yeah, I mean, you're fine. Like, it's always going. Like, it's food for travelers. This is what they do. They welcome the guests right and all that, but you're not really guests, so you're fine. You can just kind of roll in and get the hospitality. Right. The family, takes care. The family that takes care of it, the thane that would be assigned to it, looks after you, and then you're allowed to sleep in the hall. The actual hall itself is just a big room.
Oh, sounds good.
Sweet. So next morning you wake up. There's not a lot going on that wasn't going on the night before. There's people preparing some food for breakfast, so porridge, basically. The family's kind of getting up and doing their thing, getting things around to do that, and then obviously you and your two companions will be waking up and kind of getting around. So from here you can sort of do what you want. You're sort of free to kind of seek out whoever you want to seek out or get that done.
So what do you think, Soanarius? I think we need to make sure we get a chance to meet with the whoever our clan leader is and present our everything.
Ara Sablefur is your clan chieftain. Sablefur. So
it's on the list. Oh, because our family. Never mind. It's not our family. No, not mine.
Nope. Down under earn voting information on the shared wiki.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Yes.
Yep. No, we should definitely go.
Like to meet with.
Tell her.
New enemies, Tusk Riders.
Yeah, you acquired those enemies in the late, during like the Storm Age.
Yep, but we just got done kicking Tusk Rider behind and stealing their stuff.
It's treated.
And making new friends with elves. So we've done lots of good clanny stuff.
You've done lots of good clan things.
Loot.
100%. So you meet with Ara Sablefur. She's an older woman currently serving as your clan chieftain and the head of your clan ring. She's an Arnaldan. She has a like a big fancy cloak that has like the shoulders and like the upper portion of it have been done up with sable fur, so black weasels basically, and that's how she's kind of acquired her title. You've met with her once before after the cattle raid, and she's a fairly severe woman. So you would just meet her at her home.
Yeah, we can go meet her there. And like I said, we will. I don't know how we do because we brought back those metal goods. I think we should present some to her as a. Oh no, we have plates too, right?
Yes.
Yeah, we got plates. So we need to meet with her and tell her who we got the plates from, and that we have these plates for her. And then I also think for her, we should give some of the. I mean, I'm sure she would distribute it. Some of the metal goods we brought back.
Yes,
from our deal,
she would distribute it.
And then we would take the rest of those metal goods directly back to our family, but I think some of them should go to her and the clan.
Right, yeah, that makes sense.
Good.
Cool. So one of her younger daughters was outside or heard you coming, so she came out to see what was going on, and will bring you in once you tell her what you're doing. And once you've done that, like Ara is sitting sort of off to the side of the fire where there's some food cooking, and she's just sitting on a chair, like it's just like a little wooden chair, like people have, and she stays seated when you come in, and she greets you and asks you how your adventure has gone.
I've been doing most of the talking. Do you want to talk, Sonarius, or do you want me to?
Yeah. Sonarius will let her know that it went well. Cathia led us well. We stood together as clanmates and fought Tusk Riders to help our elven friends.
We can even show off our elf friend things.
Yeah, I mean, you can
that we
definitely
have.
be wearing those as like neat stuff that you got that are visible. And she raises an eyebrow at mentioning fighting the Tusk Riders and stuff. And once you're sort of done presenting, sketching out what you've done, she kind of nods and she says, "That's all very good. It's important to uphold the clan's ancient alliances and also punish our ancient feuds. Like, it's always important that people get what's coming to them, good and ill."
I will also present to her. I have a tusk that we took. Probably wouldn't. I don't know who it would go to. If not her. Maybe more appropriate to a war. But remember, I had an extra. We had 6 of those we took.
Right.
So one of them's going back to the temple. I present one as part of what we took for the clan. Basically, our proof of our. I know she took our word, but basically our proof that we present this to wherever it should go for the clan to represent our defeat of these ancient foes.
Okay. Yeah, so she'll take it if you're offering it to her.
Yeah, I'll definitely offer.
She says that the clan will dedicate it to Ernalda, who is the goddess of boars and sows, and keep it in the clan hall as a trophy.
Cool. One will go there, and like I said, I'll take the other to the Lorna temple when I go back there.
Makes sense. Excellent. She takes what you're giving her there on that stuff, and then she gives you a beat to kind of continue or make your goodbyes.
I don't know if we have anything else here.
The plates.
Oh, yes, the plates.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry. Do you want me to do? Go ahead.
We met King Brigga in Glasswall, and he had a lunar lady, who asked us to bring these 5 plates showing the moon in its various phases, and didn't feel like we were in a place to say no. We brought them back.
Okay. She takes them from you. She has her daughter bring them to her. And these are large. They're like, when we say a plate, we're talking about like a serving plate. So something that you would put like a slab of meat or like a lot of bread on like a platter, And she takes them and she looks at them for a while and she says they're very well crafted.
Well, that's good. So they didn't give us cheap gifts. So that has a downside, maybe, if we're supposed to give back. I'm glad I'm not in charge of the clan.
Right. So she looks at them for a while and she says it would it's a very nice gift and we'll have to figure out how to repay them. But that can wait. They're not just outside our door, as it were. And she has her daughter like stack them back up and put them off to the side on a shelf or something. And then she waits another beat and she tells you should probably check in with your family. Families.
Yep, that's where we're headed next.
Very good.
We're headed next.
Very good. And good job.
And I suppose we all split up and head back to our various families.
Sounds about right. So you lose your 2 followers here. They scurry off to do whatever they do when they're not inside of you.
I assume that neither of them belong to our families, right? But they're part of our clan.
They're part of your clan, so they would be distant relatives.
Yeah. They're cousins of some sort to us.
Cousins of some sort, yeah.
Removed and or some number.
Right, but whereas you two are like first cousins.
First cousins?
Yeah, and part of the same bloodline. They are just part of your clan, so they're much more distantly related.
Right. All right. Well, I will return to my family, my mother, and give the same sort of report there about how we did, and then present the copper items we brought back for them. What else we have to say? Just pretty much the same thing. I mean, we haven't hidden anything or given a different story. So
Right,
it's the
yeah,
same
there's
story
nothing
again.
nothing underhanded or intriguey going on here.
Right.
Okay, so your mother is
Nope.
Callista, and she's kind of your bloodline's manager.
I think
She's. Am I right here? Am I in the wrong place?
I think Callista is.
Did I miss? No, I'm right.
Isn't my mother
Yes.
Begana? Oh, that's
We're
my
good.
grandma.
Yes, that's your grandmother.
I'm lost.
So your mother is Callista.
I am sorry.
You're good.
Right.
Don't worry about it. It's a lengthy genealogy. So Callista is your mother, and she's kind of like the family manager. She spends a lot of time keeping track of coins and goods.
Okay.
So she's kind of a
Land grants and the money. Yep.
yeah. She handles the money. She keeps track of that stuff for the bloodline as a group. So all of your land belongs to the clan. The clan has given you permission to oversee it, and because your family is capable, you oversee more hidage than you can actually tend yourself. So you have other like Carls and half Carls and Cotters who work for your family. Just as a reference point here, like none of your families actually own any land because families don't own land.
The clan owns land,
Yes,
right?
and they give you your assignments. And because your family is
Right.
capable, you have large assignments. If you got bad at it, you would get smaller assignments. Like they would start transferring stuff away. So just something to note there. So, but your mother, yeah, she keeps track of a lot of the money. She's interested in what you've been doing. I think your relationship with your family is pretty good, right?
I thought I was. I thought my mother had supported my choice to
Mhm.
not go a more traditional route and go to Yolorna.
Right.
Though I do note, looking at my family, she's got. Hopefully, my oldest sister is doing the stuff she's expected to do. Because after that, we have two sons who are. One of them got blessed with celibacy, and I put scare quotes. Well, so is Kathia. So two of her children are celibate, and Kaler did his thing where he married a thrall.
Yes. He married a thrall that he
Kathia's
freed on the raid, specifically.
Yeah, I mean, it was a good thing to do morally, but from a family point of view. So she's got a sister 8 years older who hopefully is the heir apparent. And she's got another sister 7 years younger than her. So, I mean, she's still like a 9-year-old.
Yeah, she's still just a little girl. Yeah.
Those two are the only hope for our poor mom.
Your older sister, Erin Reith, is doing fine. She's married and has a daughter.
Yeah, I know.
So things aren't going too badly there. And yeah, your parents support you. Your dad is a Yamelian. Your mother is an Arnaldan. They get what's going
They're
on.
They're very traditional.
Yeah. Yeah. So they get what's going on and they're cool with it. So they're happy to see you. They're interested in what happened. Your father would be impressed that you met Harver because he's been a rising star in the Yamelian cult. He's fairly young to be a rune lord, and he's really been a mover and shaker.
So I guess I do come from, on my father's side, a warrior tradition more.
A warrior and a fire, light, sky association.
Not so much fire.
That's fair. No, it's fair. You have more fire magic than your dad, so that's how it goes.
Who has none?
There's no need to be mean about it.
That's me. Kathea would never think.
Right,
that.
I get you.
She's a
Yeah,
proper
and your
daughter.
brother. One of your brothers is also a Yamelian.
Yeah, he's the one blessed with celibacy, and he'll hang around with us and help sometimes, and he's probably a pretty powerful warrior. He's like 24 or something.
Yeah, he's a solid fighter. Does a lot of like the night watch and stuff for the clan. And then your other brother, less good.
Kaylor.
So yeah,
no, he's good.
He's he's had his troubles. Do you go to meet him? He's actually living on one of your aunt's lands and tending to it because she's lost most of her. Yeah, Kaylor is living with Learnt because Learnt has lost most of her family, and so like he's living on her land in a different house basically, and taking care of it. Like he's farming it and stuff. So do you go to visit him as well? It would be a little bit of travel. Okay, cool. So
No, I'd definitely go visit him.
right, you'll pop by his, and we'll hold off on that reunion real quick so that we can tune in with
Yes.
Soy and Arios and see how she is doing when she goes to visit her family.
I'm gonna swing by the Arnalda temple on the way home because I'm trying to stall seeing my mom.
Fair cop. Fair cop.
I mean, I want to make sure I want to do my tithes. That's it.
Right. Okay. So you sure. So you drop by the temple. You can see at the temple. You can see your grandmother actually. Bagana, both of your grandmother is the matriarch of your bloodline. She's also the priestess of your earth temple. So you could easily talk to her while you're there, and you could also make your tithe to the temple.
Yes, I will definitely talk to Grandma.
Cool. She's very old and very like she's gotten more like slender as she's aged. You know, some you tend to go one way or the other as you age. You either get fairly lean or a bit pudgy, and she's gone the lean route. She's also like fairly fragile looking, but she has like an immense amount of personal dignity about her that she's gained as she's aged. So she's very collected and very capable, just very old as well. And she greets you warmly enough. Like she, like you come up to her and she says, hello, my granddaughter, and like cups your face in her hands and is happy to see you.
I'll let her know that we survived, the ordeals of the whole thing, and over the tusk I brought specifically for the temple on top of the one that the chieftain will probably bring over.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let her know about the plates in case there's something we need to be careful about, and make sure to tithe at least the 10% here and the 10% elsewhere.
Okay. Yeah, I mean she oversees your tithe as part of their religious ritual, so she takes the money and gives it to whatever initiate is working that day to assist her. Another young woman, probably someone around your age, maybe a little older. We'll take the actual money, and then when you mention the plate, she kind of frowns at it, but she says, the moon shines everywhere, and we're all just gonna have to learn how to live with it.
Just kind of let her know that it was off-putting because it kind of seemed to use the leverage of 4 barely adults from here to force an expensive gift to shove back here to almost put us in their debt. It feels like.
She nods at that and says, "Yes, that is what they did, but they had the opportunity." And she's not like chiding you. Like there's no judgment to her where she's just like, "Yeah, you went out into the world and got involved in politics. That's what happens." Like that's how it goes.
And, I'll briefly let her know I'm not trying to be too excited about it, but about me and have our light fist, and let her know I want to tell my mom at least, she might be worried, but I met a guy who at least wants to talk to me again. So,
I mean, she seems pleased by that, and she says that really the trick is, do you want to talk to him again?
yes.
That's progress.
After the cattle raid, Mom seemed to doubt whether I'd be able to get a guy if I went out doing things guys did. So
She nods at that. So she's been fairly neutral in your squabbles between daughter and granddaughter. So she's letting you two fight it out. All right, cool.
then
So
after that, I'll probably excuse myself to head home after that.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, so you'll go from the temple, and you'll leave to go to your parents' lands, and we'll cut back to Kathia to see what's going on with Kalor.
Okay. Well, I head there. I guess I don't know what's going on until I get there.
Righto. All right. So you head up there, and
Anything exciting?
you'll at this point we've drifted enough into the day that when you stop by the actual like stead or steed, right? Like when you stop by the actual structure, the only person there is Anara, his wife. He's already out working in
two
the field.
babies.
So she's there with their twins as well, and they're very small.
They're about like a year old each.
Not even a full year, but yeah, like still pretty little. A little baby boy and a baby girl.
Takes time to check in with her. I've tried to be her friend. I figure she doesn't have any here, so
Right. She's been friendly back to you. She's
Yeah.
she's been trying to be friendly to everybody.
Right.
She's about maybe a little younger than Kalor. She's very pretty, and she seems very nice. And she does seem like she works hard as well. Like she keeps the house neat. She's constantly doing this and that, taking care of the kids, doing some weaving and spinning, keeping food cooked. It's a lot of work, obviously, to run a household.
Yep. Especially without the family help.
Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Well,
And then
I'm gonna do.
Good.
No, I'm gonna do two things. First of all, I went ahead and subtracted my, even though I hadn't officially gone back through to the temple. I went ahead and took out my tithe.
Mhm.
I'm also gonna pass her 6 lunars to help out with whatever they need. Let her manage it.
Yeah, that makes sense. She takes the money. She's a little embarrassed by it, but she does take it and put it in like a. She would have a purse, like a
Kathy isn't gonna take no for it. It's like, that's why I went out and earned it.
right.
And I tell her it's not for her. It's not for her. It's for my niece and nephew. I mean, if it makes her feel better.
Right. No, it makes sense.
Not to make her feel bad, but if she tries to turn it away, it's like, nope, it's for my niece and nephew.
Right. Yeah. Like I said, she does end up taking it. You can tell that she would. It's uncomfortable for her to be in that position. Okay, so that's the first thing that you did. She does, thank you.
And I'll go check. Yeah. I'll just check in. I assume nothing exciting's happened here, but if there is, then let me know.
Nope, it's been pretty quiet. You're on Ernst's land is on the far side of the border with the Mandarin, so you're really not in any risk at all of being exposed to any raids or anything. You're on the wrong side of the river,
Okay.
kind of up against Blue Hill territory.
All right, and I'll go out, and then she'll go out and look for her brother.
Cool. All right.
And just nothing too much. Just checking in, saying hi. So I don't know if there's anything special that popped up, but
not a lot. He's been plowing. Has kind of been what's been going on there. That's what he's doing right now when you go talk to him. So there's an ox pulling.
This is retroactive, but if I would have remembered to do it, I would have set aside 1 or 2 of those copper things I got before, iron bronze, and brought them specifically to him, since I figure he gets to be the hand-me-downs of the hand-me-downs of the hand-me-downs normally.
Yeah, he's kind of struggling with it. They keep him enough because they don't want Learnt to lose the custody of this hidage, but she's not taking care of it. So he is, and so they do want him to succeed. They just don't want him to be comfortable.
Well, that's why I say if I can bring him back one of the actual new plow blades, and I don't know. If I couldn't work that out, I won't.
You could. It would be easy enough to. You should have some of that stuff for yourself to kind of divvy out as you feel like giving it out.
Okay, well then it all goes to him because I'm not farming.
Like, I don't want to do that. Here, have some tools.
No, I don't mean it that way, but I mean that's not what she'll go help him and the family, but she's not the one that's actually. She'll actually go spend time helping him work his fields and the plant for the next few weeks, in addition to the rest of the family.
Right. No, that makes perfect sense. Okay, cool. So you meet up with him, and things are going fine. It's been quiet. Everything seems like it's okay. He's grateful for the tools and things, and he's impressed by all your stories. He's gone out on some adventures of his own, so he definitely gets kind of what you're doing and why you're doing it, and he's impressed by your tales for sure.
Is he in Orlanthe?
Yes.
So he was already a bit of a
he's a hot-headed guy, just a rebel who just doesn't conform very well. Like you have more Orlanthe men than Yomelian men in your clan. Like Yomelio is fairly popular in Alda-Chur. He's not a more popular god than Orlanth.
All right, that's all I have. Then I'm going to go to our temple, which I didn't do the day before. Do my tithing, give that tusk. I don't know if we need to track any of that stuff, but I took it off my sheet already. The tusk.
No, you're fine. I've got notes for all that stuff, so I kind of know where things are going and how to resolve some of that. Cool. Okay, so once you've journeyed back to your temple and are kind of getting caught up there, we'll cut back to Soinarios and her meeting with her mom.
Who did you go to first? Was it your temple?
Temple and grandma.
Yeah.
Oh,
good old grandma.
I guess I can go to my grandma. Yeah. Oh, we have the same grandma.
Yes, you do.
Do I have to report to my grandma? Am I supposed to?
I mean, you're not required to, but you might want to. But in any event, Soinarios is now at her home, which is a nice large, hall that houses multiple, like your family, and then also some of your subsidiary families that work the land that you live on. So your mother is there, and she is doing the same thing she pretty much always is, which is spinning. She has her chair set up, and she's drop spinning wool into thread when you come in. She doesn't stop, but she does turn to look at you when you enter.
I put down my arms and armor before I go sit down and talk with her.
She indicates a seat near her that you can sit in as well.
Without verbalizing it, if there's anything I can do to help, whether it's hold one of my siblings or dish a stew or a drink or spin a little bit myself, I'll do that as we talk.
Okay. If you want to spin, she will let you spin. So you'll take a spindle, and I don't know if you've seen these before, but they look like a stick. And then at the top they're flared flat, and you would attach wads of wool that's been cleaned to the top of the flat part, like around the flat part, and you would just wrap it with like a ribbon or something loosely to hold it in place. You'll take a strand and you'll drop this thing. It'll spin like a yo-yo until it hits the ground. And as it spins the thread, like the wool fibers, into a thread. And it's a technique. It takes some doing to do it right. And then once you do that, you just keep retrieving it and doing it again and again.
I will do that as I begin to relate to her about going out with the elves and being ancient friends and punishing ancient enemies, and all that good stuff. I want to save the heart of our light fist thing until a bit later on, and I get that maternal disdain for my adventuring lifestyle.
Right. You're setting her up so you can put the happy surprise in like a knife.
Yep.
Yeah, so she lets the conversation go. There are pauses and stuff. She has a dignity to her that's more austere than your grandma's. Like, she's definitely like an Arnaldan she's a god talker. She's been working on rising in the Earth Temple. She wants to take over her mother's role when her mother passes. And she has been she leans more heavily into Arnalda as a weaver, like Arnalda who weaves fate as kind of the thing that she looks at. So she has that sort of like her spindle is her scepter, her chair is her throne sort of thing going on. And she lets you talk, and she nods at certain portions of it or acknowledges it. She's happy, or at least satisfied, that you're helping elves do things. Like, she's glad that you're looking to tradition. That part, at least, is good.
That's when I gloss over the Tusk Rider thing, just because there's no need to go into too much of that detail. It was a success, and we came home and all that good stuff. But then on the way back, I don't know about Lifist asking to talk again, and it seems at least like I want to talk again, but he wants the whole Mandarin thing to settle down first, apparently.
Right. So at that, she does actually stop what she's doing. Like, she doesn't like drop her spindle or anything, but she doesn't release it. Like, she just holds on to it for a moment to think about what you're actually saying. She's surprised, but pleased that you're at least interested in talking to someone. She's heard of Harvard. He's obviously an important man, and she does sort of wonder. Well, no, we'll leave that alone.
You're wondering if you're shooting too high.
No, you'll be fine. So she takes.
I don't know if I've ever
Roll. Actually, this is a good place to do a little rolling. If you have like an insight or.
You do. You have an insight.
We've played so many games and so many systems. I struggle sometimes with these, like, what do you call the skill?
I noticed earlier that I have an insight humans and an insight Aldriami that are separate.
Yes, you do. So these are the insight skills.
I realized it was there.
Yeah, the insight skill and perception lets you read another person, and because elves are so different from humans, they're different skills. So if you want to roll insight humans to kind of try to get a window into whatever your mom is thinking.
I heard the roll.
I know.
I rolled a 16 against a 39.
Wow.
Well, that's actually pretty good.
Oh,
You've
very insightful.
I've asked for just a couple of rolls, and you've both like hit them out of the park on it. So very good. So your impression is that your mom is pleased by this, but that she has some sort of reservation about something with Harvard. You're not sure what it is. He's obviously very well known and highly regarded, like in Alda-Chur, like in the tribal confederation. There's something, just something that you said about him or in describing him or something has given her some sort of reservation about him. You don't know what it is, but that's your sense of it. So naturally, your immediate feeling would be, huh, she's not as happy as I thought she'd be.
Yep. You do what she wants, and it's not enough.
It's just an expecting. She's just a parent.
Nice. Cool. So I think that's a good place for us to wrap up this session. We've been it's almost it's getting pretty late, our
Yeah.
local time. We're approaching our deadline for this, and I think we're at a good point to stop. So let's talk briefly about what we want to do next time. From my end, the first thing I want to do when we next meet and get our next session in is wrap up the paperwork side of this adventure. So that's mostly going to be doing skill tests and basically doing skill tests to see if you get any POW gains or if you get any skill advancements. And then after that,
Did we do
probably
any?
Go ahead.
Did we do any of that? We didn't do any of that after the actual combat, right?
I don't believe we did because we hadn't really wrapped the adventure. And if we did, it's okay if we do it again. I can't remember, and I'd rather you have a few too many skill points than a few too few. It's been a while since we closed out the email portion of this campaign. It's been a few years.
Yeah.
So I can't really remember. So we'll go over that in our next session. After that, I'd like to handle some downtime and get us out of sea season. So if there's anything you guys want to do with your time for the rest of sea season, that would be something to consider for next session.
I'm going to tell you in advance that I think Kathea is going to be looking for the next adventure. She's always wanted this, and now that she's gotten some experience with it, she'll be ready for whatever comes along. I know that kind of puts it off me, but I also figured during most of sea season already, she's going to spend the time thrown in with her family to do the heavy labor of planting, and she'll be doing double time helping her estranged brother and family.
Absolutely, and that's something that we'll cover.
Not very exciting.
No, for sure. It's downtime.
So
downtime is something that we can get through. I just wanted to say that you're going to have several weeks of it, and we'll probably cover some chances. You'll have some chances there to get some training done or some life experience roles for downtime. And then,
do you want us to do any skill checks from adventure before we sit down together, or should we do that as a group at that point?
We can do it as a group. I think I'd like to go over it as a group this time at least.
Okay.
And then, so Inarios, do you have anything you'd like to address during the downtime? It's just in case I have to do some prep for it. Otherwise, we'll just kind of cruise through it.
I wanted to just have never done one of these clan type room magics before. Like I have to bless crops, so I'm just determining if I need to do that with my immediate family or if I should help, if I want to help out my estranged cousin and his thrall wife. With at least one item making that a little bit easier and more bountiful.
I might be willing to suggest that in character.
Yeah, there's definitely internal politics to consider with that, like where you dispense this magic that you have. So 100%. And we'll talk a little bit too about how your reputations are changing within the clan as you gain some fame, I believe, or a reputation, whatever that stat line happens to be called. Because it has changed a little. All right, cool. No, that sounds great, guys.
I think.
Question since we're talking. Go ahead.
I think maybe planning, if we're ready to kind of stepping up our role, or at least encourage things. That way, we maybe get a bit more aggressive in. Is it taking or retaking the land from the Mandarings?
Depends on what side you're on.
I think we are just taking it, but we won't phrase it that way.
Right. There's a section of land between your two clans that has been a point of contention for a while. It's why your clans are feuding with each other in the first place. Settling that issue was supposed to be part of the tribe making, but it didn't really stick so well. All right, that sounds good. Well, I think we've gotten through a lot, and hopefully it was interesting. I know it was for us. I hope hypothetical listeners also found it interesting. And we will be returning in
I
a
have a
couple of weeks for our next session.
I got a question for you before we leave.
Yes.
Since I've been ended up so obsessed with my older brothers and his family,
Mhm.
I made more of them in this campaign than you probably wanted. Inara,
Mhm.
my sister-in-law,
Mhm.
is she an Alda initiate?
Yes, and she would be from Tarsh originally.
No, that's fine. Just thinking she could maybe help her advance herself at some point as I get more political.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
power
that's
if I can
definitely
do that,
something that
'cause
we can look at going forward. And I don't mind however much or little you want your character's focus to be around your relatives is fine with me. So it's a
I kind of like
sandbox structure.
leaning into that because we're actually adventuring right around here, so it's kind of neat.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I was just noting that she has twins, and that's
A lot of work.
that's pretty important. That's pretty special.
It is, yeah, definitely.
She's the mom of twins.
Absolutely, yeah. So we will definitely explore that in the future
Okay,
here.
sorry.
So no, you're good. You're absolutely good.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's do our little outro. So this was the Alda-Chur Campaign, session 1, catching up and moving forward. And we will see everybody in 2 weeks.